Alright fellas, Diablo 4 PTR week. Hey, the first we've gotten through Diablo 4 and it's the season of the kick in the nuts for me because I've been playing my favorite leap kick dead blow thingy with the barb, which actually was a bit of a chore to set up back in the day. And I want to start that video with telling you how surprised I was to find out that this one feels 1,000 times better, and actually the barb feels 1,000 times better, and there's no generator spender dynamic, which is a big thing for me at least. I mean, I pretty much hated the idea of you having to use a generator and then use a core skill. But now, I mean, with the kick build, at least right now, what I'm testing out, it feels really organic, and I like it. I mean, it's an incentive to play the game in Season 4 for me, at least, right? And then I want to mention that I skipped Season 3. Have no idea if these changes had been implemented earlier than this PTR. It just feels better now, right? So that's important. And Health Tide is thick and juicy, and we've got sandworms and shit, and you can zoom out. And if we look at all these quality of life features, all these changes, the codex and all that, obviously all of that is great, and it should have been in the game on release. And it's kind of sad that the thing we're super excited about is essentially greater rifts from Diablo 3, which was the pinnacle of tedium for me and perhaps for many of you, but also many of you also liked it. And it's fine if it's in the game, if it's an option, a side dish, a thing you can engage for a specific purpose in case you need those mats. Fine, it's like some of the leagues that have been, implemented core in PoE. If you don't like them, ignore them, but more about that in a bit. About the atomization rework, because that's what the whole PTR is about. Generally, they could have used and tweaked all the other shit without the PTR, I suppose, but the thing they're actually cautious about is the loot, and that's right, they should be, because that's what's gonna kill the game in the long run if it's not done right. So let me just do that transition here. Alright, so here we are in Serigar. Let's just talk about loot 2.0, or whatever you want to call it, whatever they want to call it, from the perspective of a boosted level 100 barb casual pleb, because PoE is just great once more, and I didn't have the time to level up in D4 right now. So initially, when you start blasting your pre-made character, everything feels 1,000 times better. It's more organic, even more visceral with the juiced up health tide, yada yada, all that jazz. Then after some time, after 5 minutes, let's say, you realize all you care about is legendaries. And once you're decked out with all your codex powers and whatnot, all you care about is legendaries with a greater affix drop, for the most part. And not that you can't temper and masterwork others, but the chase is basically those drops with a greater affix. And then the mats, recipes, whatever, which I guess are your PoE June crafts. You collect them early on in every season, in every league, so that you can craft your best shit. And you kind of can't skip it if you don't want to miss out on power, and that's tied to your pit. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, there it is. That's tied to your pit, which is, the greater rifts, and therefore you can't ignore it like you would ignore a PoE league that's gone core. And so you've got this thing now. Once you hit Torment or World Tier 4, whatever, you will briefly care for yellow drops, but given the whole dynamic of ARPGs nowadays, that would not last long, since, there's gonna be a level up to 100 in 30 minutes with this strat type of videos 5 minutes after every season's out, and essentially, again, all you would ever care about after the first couple of days of a new season would be legendaries and those with greater affixes. Now, as simplified and smooth that might sound, I can't help but feel that it's gone way too one-dimensional for it to last long and to be engaging for the player base, and I'm afraid it might not feel that good in the long run. And when you zoom out and take a good look at things, it's kind of a checkbox, right? That the very thing they kind of said that they want to avoid in those pre-release videos back in the day. You check the boxes of filling out your codex powers, get the best ones, get the best, rows. And once the best option for greater affix is figured out, which, make no mistake, it would be just one thing, much like how vulnerability was the only thing a couple of patches ago. You would start hunting again for those numerical increases that we've been trying to avoid again. Yeah, of course, there's this chance for the item to get bricked, so you get to hunt for it again, do the routine over and over, and that's why you're basically stuck with doing pit runs for your mats, and you know how it goes. But not to mention that it's a system many of us, hate and relate to Black Desert Online and Lost Ark and Diablo Immortal. And again, I'm I'm not sure I want to start the topic, but what about the rest of the items? Why are they white items? Why are they blue items? If they get replaced as early as level 10 or something, why have these distinctions at all? To keep up with, modern RPG standards? Because, different colors. Woo, I mean, why? I've never played an RPG where that's a thing, or at least not to the point of these being utterly useless. So unless you've got an ace up your sleeve for the expansion, and I mean expansion, not season, because season stuff doesn't go core, and even if you do something with these items during a season, it won't affect the game long term. So if you're planning on something like runes, that would be great, or something like I don't know, a white item being a sort of a perfect blueprint base to craft a different type of unique or a different type of rarity or something. I don't know. I know there's a lot of people out there who don't want the game to be D2 and rage at the idea of other people praising D2, but D2 did it right in that department. Every item had some value and purpose, and it added to a whole dimension to, like, a whole new dimension to finding loot. Runes added another dimension, and then blue items having higher rolls added yet another dimension. And so you've had this multi-layered approach to finding the loot for your character. And is, for example, you need a rune word or an MF Ami with just 3-2 stork skills and all that. So you weren't just hunting for the the best in slot unique, the highest runes or whatever. There was like variance to it. And compared to you only caring about one thing and waiting for the slot machine to give it to you with the greater affix, it just feels, I don't know. You tell me. It just feels bad, boring, maybe not the thing we hoped for, right? I don't know about you, but this feels like yet another band-aid, and a momentary fix to give the game and the team some breathing space until they've actually figured out their thing. And by their thing, I mean, every RPG out there that's influenced the genre has had its thing. It's D4 right now doesn't, right? I mean, it always tries to keep up. So it's kind of like this. Okay, let me do a car reference, because I'm into buying a new car right now, and it's a topic on my mind constantly. So I'll try to do the comparison. But let's look at Nissan, for example, and more specifically the Qashqai with its 1.3 engine. Too weak to make a big car like that run good. I mean, it's got all those turbos and it's squeezed out to the maximum and all that, just so that it could perform on a level that's nowhere near as desirable for its money and purpose. And you go with a car like that on a long trip with a lot of baggage, with your family, with your kids, with your wife, and your dog back in the that car's gonna choke. It's gonna full squat flat. I mean, it's D4 is a bit like that, with all these little boosts and injections that they've been trying to make the game run as fast as its competitors. Always a step behind. Always borrowing some stuff that ain't working quite the way we've expected, since it's not D4's thing. It's just like Nissan's Renault engine isn't its thing. I mean, if we can make that comparison. And perhaps I'm joking other shit. I'm not a car geek, okay? I'm not a car geek. But I guess anyone into D4 ain't one either, so I may get a pass here, right? And we all agree that loot's the driving force, the engine that keeps it going forward. Well, yeah, loot's tied to what your character can do, the skills, the builds that you could come up with via loot and interacting with skills. And another thing we've agreed upon is that the skills in the game are a bit lackluster. Okay, the skill tree is a bit bland. There's no dynamic to it, no wonky interaction, so at least just too few of them to actually make a difference. One I can think about is the Domain Stone, for example, which was a great thing. I want to see more of that. And there's no weird shit that you could do to break the game to achieve this crazy build that no one's ever thought about. And yeah, that's a topic with other content creators have touched upon. Yeah, breaking the game, being able to break the game is a good thing. I'm not saying about exploiting and glitching it and whatever. I'm talking about finding a way to outsmart the system in this virtual reality so that you can achieve greater power. And it's something that PoE does great. I mean, obviously, if something's too broken, yes, you hammer it down. But finding out this untrodden path, this new frontier of possibilities, like we have with PoE right now, this current league, the Necropolis League. Exploring new stuff, finding out what's super strong, what's broken, what I wanna have that in D4. Uh, I wanna have builds that should not work, but eventually works because you figured out a really cool way to bypass some restriction and so on. So and as long as you're tied to a rotation between two meta builds for a character, let's say, and those types of loot changes would always feel like they're always in favor of whatever's buffed this season, and what will get that would get boring pretty soon, right? I mean, I think it will. So I guess time will tell. And here's to hoping, for a good season 4, fingers crossed, and all that. It's just in the long run, D4 might not have that much time, and I'm not reveling in the doomsday preach here. I'm actually feeling a bit, frustrated and sad, since I do want to enjoy D4 in the long run, and I do wish for the expansion to be good and to bring a lot of new good stuff, new skills, new changes, variants to gear, to builds, all that jazz. So I think good thing they're delaying the season 4. Hope they figure their shit out. If not, it's there's always something else to play nowadays. I mean, it's skipping a season ain't the end of the world. And if the game keeps improving steadily over time, like it's been doing right now, with some of the quality of life changes, coming back after 2 or 3 seasons might make for a better experience, which the good stuff will feel more impactful for you, just like with me now, seeing how better my leap kick dead blow barb feels. And which is actually my incentive to give season 4 a shot, regardless of the theme. And actually, if I can make it work out properly, and it turns out to be a fun playstyle, that would mean that I was wrong about some of the things I said earlier in this video, and that could only make me happy. It could only be a good thing. So yeah, ending this one with a positive vibe, I suppose. Feel free to share your thoughts, hit me down in the comments. What do you think about the new changes? What are your expectations for season 4? I noticed there's a leak video about season 4, but check that one if you want. Apart from that, feel free to share anything. See you somewhere out there, and stay safe, stay sane, and keep the hammer pounding these misshapen skulls. Bye.